Mr. Chancellor, Mr. President, members of the graduating class, ladies and gentlemen. It's a beautiful day in its own very unique way. Back when I was graduating university, there were no such things as text messages or Instagram or Facebook or even email. In fact, there wasn't even the internet. I know you shudder with fear and confusion despite this beautiful day. No internet. How do people communicate? And I don't really quite remember myself. And so I did what any of us would have done. I went to the internet to find out. When I entered into my trusty Google search engine, what did people do before the internet? This is what came back. One source said, they watched a lot of TV. Some people had Walkmans or walked outside, etc. Another source reported, people grunted and made noises and banged on things like rocks and sticks. And another, pre-internet communication was often achieved through the transmission of visible cues or sounds. Smoke signals, for example, could be seen from a distance. Similarly, drums could be heard from far away. Delivering messages often incorporated courier pigeons, flag signals, or traversing great distances by foot. People had to use body language like facial actions or even physical touch. There was something called tape cassettes for recording things and catalogs sent through something called the post office for purchasing clothing and food and books. How did we all survive? Indeed, the world has changed drastically in a very short amount of time. In the last 20 years alone, we've made leaps in technology the vast majority of us couldn't have even dreamed of even 10 years ago. Think about it. Twitter only really began to gain traction 6 years ago. Snapchat last year. By the way, old people in the audience, BTW, my homies. Snapchat is an app that allows one to send out selfies to your friends that appear and then forever disappear in about 10 seconds. What could one possibly want to send to his or her friend or partner that can only be viewed for up to 10 seconds and then will disappear into the ether forever? But this doesn't mean I didn't come well prepared to speak to you all today on what is, up to this point, certainly one of the most important days of your lives. Believe you me, young people in front of me, I took on this challenge. I took on this challenge of giving your commencement speech as seriously as, say, you not so long ago took on the challenge of writing an important midterm research paper. Late last night, I drank a couple of Red Bulls, I crushed up and snorted an Adderall, opened my laptop and proceeded to surf the web for a few hours. And guess what I found? Beyond the realization that Facebook is a monumental time suck and one of the greatest tools ever devised to truly develop the art of procrastination, I found that all of this new technology that blossoms like wildflowers in a summer field all around us forced me to look inside, forced me to reflect on how I can connect with you in some way beyond the immediate gratification that our social world seems to now want, beyond the sound bites that we've come to begin to accept as truth. In all honesty, I fretted over this speech for months. I generally fret over anything that I write and share with an audience. You might find this surprising. After all, I'm a writer. Don't words just pour unimpeded from my golden pen whenever I turn the spigot on? Sadly, no, they don't. I'll be dead honest with you right now. I'm scared, a lot. I fear failure, a lot. Every time I sit down to write something for others, whether it is as lofty sounding as a novel or as simple as an online response to some jackass who totally misunderstood my intent with my most recent novel, whether it is as lofty as being asked to give this commencement speech to you, dear graduates, or as benign as sending a text to a friend, I feel a sense of fear, a fear that what I do, what I create, will not be good enough. And this, it suddenly dawned on me, is the advice I can share with you today. You're going to fail. Sorry, it's true. At some point, you're going to try something, whether it's as inconsequential as trying to remember to pick up your partner after work because you needed the car today, or as monumental as making a huge career move that absolutely belly flops. Yes, I know. Aren't these graduations supposed to be all about positive messages and happy thoughts? But I tell you that you will fail at some point, and probably more than once. Don't get me wrong, I don't want you to fail. I don't wish that upon you. But failure, especially at something important, builds strength, builds resolve, allows you at your lowest point to climb back up off the ground with your bloodied nose and scraped shins and try again, this time with some insight into the challenge. Simply, failure allows you the opportunity to truly succeed because it forces you, at exactly the moment you are at your lowest, to stand back up, dust yourself off, and give it another go. Imagine if we all succeeded every time at everything we tried. There is no true understanding of the exhilaration of the heights without that intimate knowledge of the depths. I know that we all know somebody who always seems to succeed at whatever he or she tries, who makes anything difficult look so easy. But let me tell you a little secret. Those people are just better actors than we are. They're just better at making it look easy. Deep down inside, they're just as scared of failure as we are. And isn't it that, in a nutshell? It isn't failure that's dangerous. It's the fear of failure. How many times have you decided not to bother attempting something because you were afraid you were going to fail? That is the great tragedy, the not trying for the fear. And so just accept that you aren't perfect, that failure is an option, and go for it. When you reach that peak and look down, you'll be happy you made the journey. Okay, here's an actual fact for you, one I'm not proud to share, but feel I should. My first 2 attempts at writing a novel were complete and utter failures. One of those novels was titled Motorcycle Boy. Enough said. If you're to believe the media, though, I'm the golden boy of Can Lit. My first novel, an international success. My second novel, the winner of the Giller. My third, the winner of Canada Reads. What you don't hear is that it took failure, a lot of it, to get me there. Here's one other thing for you to consider today. It's really simple advice, but something I think a lot of us forget in this hyper-fast tech age. Don't ever forget to live in the moment. Believe it or not, the ability to live in the moment, to let the great world around you just spin as you sit back and simply enjoy, is a talent, and it must be honed. You are about to enter the next great chapter of your lives, which is at once exhilarating and frightening. But let's not forget today, the rest of this week, the rest of this month, even to sit down, turn off your cell phone and shut down your laptop and look back at what you've accomplished, to kick off your shoes and really soak in the beautiful summer days that are upon us. Indeed, soon enough, you'll be looking forward to new jobs or another degree, a possible spouse and family. That will all come if that's what you want. There's a lot on the horizon. But this doesn't mean that you shouldn't each day take some time to yourself to put briefly away the ambition and the drive and the desire and just breathe. Today, breathe in the scent of the trees and the river, gardens all around us in this powerful and beautiful place where so much converges. I go so far as to say breathe in the scent of your family all around you, but it might be a bit warm for that. It's easy to continually look forward to believe that everything will be perfect or at least so much better when you lose 10 pounds or land that higher paying job or the date with the hottie, when you buy rather than rent your home or prove to the disbelievers that, see, you really are worth it. You really have become somebody. The fact of the matter remains that you already are somebody. You've achieved something huge today, right here, right now. What's even more important is for you to remember in the future that you still are somebody. You cannot undo the past, and so today you've accomplished a goal that nobody can ever take away from you. Should you fail in the future, remember today. Should you lose a job, remember today. But at least as importantly, remember that there's peace and grace and dignity in living right now, living in the moment. On that day, many, many years from now, when you're looking back and reflecting on your life, probably with some kind of telepathic setup complete with floating movie screen in front of you where every time you blink another scene from your past plays out, you will not regret the last second weekend getaway with dear friends or that great meal you cooked for a surprise partner after his or her brutal day at work or rolling around on the floor with your dog. Let's just say I bet you're not going to wish you'd spent more time in the office. Once in a while, turn off all the gadgets that seem to now run our lives and simply try to exist in the moment. You won't regret it. So there are my 2 cents. The writer of Motorcycle Boy asks you every day to put the frustrations, the dreams, the plans, and the distractions, along with the phones and the laptops and the Facebooks and the Instagrams in the closet for a little while and enjoy the here and now. Revel in it. And when you fail, forgive yourself for it. You cannot truly succeed until you do. Failure is inevitable, but it's the getting up again that counts for everything. Getting up again makes you not just stronger, it makes you great. Right now, right here and now is an amazing moment. Feel it, relish it, right now. I'm going to ask you all to do one thing for me, graduating class. Yes, it might sound a little weird, but don't think about it too hard. Just do it. I ask each of you to put each of your hands on the shoulder or the arm or the hand of the person on either side of you. Please. Basically, place your hands on the people beside you, preferably somewhere appropriate. And those of you on the end of the rows, I guess you're just going to have to touch yourself with one of your hands. I ask you to do this because we're all in this together. We're experiencing this day, this incredible accomplishment together. And no technology in the world, whether it already exists or is invented tomorrow or in 50 years from now, can ever replace the simple act of physically connecting, of sharing something so monumental with something as simple and as perfect as human touch. What you've accomplished is amazing. Each one of you has acquired a life goal, and so acknowledge your years of endeavor, your countless hours of homework, and yes, it's okay to acknowledge a little bit of your procrastination too. For isn't that moment just before you jump off the cliff into the water below so completely exhilarating? Is not the moment when fear and living in the moment coalesce? This is your moment. Jump. I'm deeply humbled to be bestowed with such an honor from your alma mater, and I'm especially honored to have the chance to speak to you today. Chi Miigwech, with that Trent University graduating class of 2014, I congratulate you.